Okay, so we are good. So, welcome everyone to the BLTN podcast. I'm your host, obviously Warfare. We got McDilly again. We have Odin, and then we have Pete Malloy. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things. If you guys look in the title, you'll see what's going down. Talk about some Wasteland since we got the new server. We'll talk about a potential King of the Hill server, the Make Arma Not War contest, and then we'll touch a little bit on the medic rules and them going into red zones now, and you guys can give your opinions on that stuff. You guys want to start with Wasteland? Want to go from there?
Um, Wasteland is fucking awesome.
Okay. Did you play Wasteland before, McDilly, or is it like your first time?
So I played Wasteland one other time before, and it was with Devil Kauai. Didn't really get into it. We like ran around and shot some people and got off after like an hour, so it wasn't really a big deal or anything. But when the Olympus came out with their Wasteland, I had a blast. I went and played with MC. We did big things. We made base, killed tanks, took tanks. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I actually didn't know how much fun I would have playing Wasteland, but it was pretty awesome, to be honest.
Yeah, I know Odin played it a lot before that. We played on top a couple times, and I'm digging it. Everyone's gonna notice that it looks really similar to the other servers. It's just because that's what the core mission is. Everyone's using the same core mission. I'm sure things will change with that and how things will look maybe in the future. But overall, I'm really having fun with it. I think I have like $500,000 already. We just been grinding out doing those money missions and ended up teaming up with Ham. Now we got a base going. I think you guys tried to fight them earlier, right? Like MC tried to raid their base or something.
I heard about it, but I wasn't a part of it. I know the only encounter that I had that I was a part of against Ham was I blew up his tank.
Oh, okay.
That's all I heard. We got into a fight over a town or something, and there was two tanks, and he was one of the tanks. I blew it up.
I got you.
Everybody else died.
Did you happen to see the changes, Odin? What he did with that last update? Oh, you're muted.
I sure am, because you made me do push talk.
I didn't make you do. I didn't make you do anything. You chose to do that on your own.
Whatever. But no, I haven't hopped on yet. But I did see the notes, and I'm excited for the notes. I just haven't had a chance to hop in yet.
So vehicle selling was a big thing that a lot of people wanted, and I think it works out really well now. The only problem with it, I think, is that you can sell vehicles at gun stores. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
And then I don't know how I feel about the 2,500 cash. I like the fact that we got a little bump in how much you get. I think 2,000 would be a better number, but I don't know. You were a big person, Odin, talking about like starting cash, right? Like how much you really want people to have. Didn't we talk about that before?
A little bit. I mean, 2,500 really isn't that much. It'll get you a nice kit, a nice build out, as far as getting you a long range rifle and your launcher. Get some grenades in there, but by the time it's not enough to get you a vehicle that can do any type of damage. You can get some wheels and drive around, but there's vehicles everywhere. So I mean, 2,500, meh. I mean, it'll get you enough, but it's not gonna give you a huge advantage.
Okay, so your big thing was you didn't want people having a lot of money due to the fact that they could potentially buy a vehicle with it. Like yours wasn't based off guns, but more so vehicles.
More or less. I mean, I've played on a few servers where one was a 5K start, but everything was super cheap, and you could hop in and you could buy a 12.7 and get a Night Stalker and buy a Titan. But then I went on another server that had 10K on there, but you could get your rifle, but you couldn't get a Night Stalker. Or you could go buy like a Strider that has a heavy machine gun on top, but then get no weapons. So as long as the pricing's all balanced out, what you start out with doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I got you. Pete, have you hopped on the Wasteland server at all, or have you not touched it?
Pete?
I played a little bit, not too much, but I'm thinking about setting up some kind of MC operation there, getting something organized on there.
I got you. Yeah, one of the things we talked about when Poseidon was putting it up was I like the fact that general stores were kind of closer to the gun stores. And now it's like some of them are, but others aren't. Like I think one of them is like 12 clicks from the nearest gun store. I think that I like that to be changed. I don't want them super close, but I think you should have a general store roughly 4 clicks away from a gun store. Enough to where you can go and get geared up without having to travel 12 clicks in between. So
You're right there, dude.
All right, like
Yeah, don't die.
dying in the process over here. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think there should be any changes to the server at all? Like, what kind of things would you like added to Wasteland?
Oh, man, hard to say, especially with so early, and especially being inexperienced with Wasteland myself. I don't know.
One of the things that people were rooting for was being able to lock vehicles. Poseidon said he wanted people to get their vehicles stolen, but should a vehicle locking system be put in place? Like, I like the idea of if you're outside your vehicle, you can lock it, or if you're inside, you can lock it. But if you're outside, it can't be locked. I don't know. Do you like that idea? Don't like the idea?
Locking it when you're in it is kind of nice, just because depending on what you're driving, people like to run up and then hop in your vehicle, and now you're just kind of screwed because sometimes you can't shoot them out. And if you try to get out, especially by yourself, now they're basically in your vehicle, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you're not in the vehicle, yeah, I think it should be able to be stolen, but locking when you're inside would be kind of nice.
Yeah, the big thing on some other servers was you could lock it when you're outside, so then basically you just save your vehicle, lock it, and then you get off. I think that's really shitty. It's like, you need to be able to build a base to kind of like store your vehicles, and if people can just not steal them because of that reason, that'd be kind of dumb. Unless you kind of like use the engineer class with it. If engineers could like lockpick vehicles, then I don't know how I'd feel about it, because that actually would give the class a little bit more to do with it. But overall, there's some things that definitely should be added. What about garages? Is that something you guys would want or wouldn't want?
No. Well,
no garages?
no. I've played on them with garages, and it's kind of cheap after a while because people start buying tanks and buying, tanks. And then, they have... Well, think about it. If Warfare, you're rich, you could go buy, 3 slammers by now?
How much are they?
50K.
Oh, I could buy a lot more than that.
Alright, so you could go buy a whole bunch of slammers, drive it to a garage, store it, and do that a whole bunch of times, get a half dozen of them, and then, get a whole bunch of your buddies. Now you guys are doing a tank patrol. Or you could go get the, what's the Comanche-looking thing? What's that one called?
Blackfoot?
Blackfoot. You go get a bunch of Blackfoots, now you've got 5 dudes hovering up in the air with a gunner, just lighting up anyone that moves, kind of like what Ham was doing the other day. And that was just one, and Ham was wrecking crap.
Yeah, we were flying 2 clicks in the air, and we would take out money shipments like it was nothing. Like, they literally wouldn't shoot at us. We would just fly up, 2 clicks, boom, 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 dead. We'd go down, pick the money, and leave. Yeah. Okay, so I can understand that then. What else can you add to Wasteland? Whatever. There was a bounty mod that I saw on a server. I think that would be cool. That gave people a reason to go and find other people. How if you could, I don't know if you could really copy them with it, or if it's kind of like a free thing you can add on, but I think that adds some extra gameplay to it. Wheat Kings was talking about additional missions. Do you know anything about it? Like, is there any other missions you've seen in other servers that we don't have?
I haven't played in a while, so I don't know if they've added any in. I haven't seen a wide variety of missions. I've seen what the code looks like, and it doesn't look super complicated once you know how it works, kind of a thing. I'm sure we could add missions. By we, I mean Poseidon could add in missions, but it would definitely take time, and it's not going to be something that happens anytime soon, because it's going to take a lot of forethought, planning, running through them. Essentially, because you have to plan it out where it's not going to be too easy, depending on what it is. It's not going to be too hard that someone can't do it by themselves if they're smart about it. So, I've taken out a heavy money shipment by myself before.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was doing the first day. Just get the Titan missiles, you're good. So maybe something like making a thread for people can suggest potential missions to create. Maybe that's something one of the staff should look into doing. This way you get the community involved. Everyone wants to have their input on it, and I think that'd be cool. I'm trying to think of what other stuff I've seen in other servers that would be a cool addition.
Has it been determined how long bases save for? Because I know if you lock it...
I thought they were permanent. I want to say they are.
I know you can make them permanent.
Yeah, if you lock them, then they stay that way. But I think if they're unlocked, I think they go away on restart. Poseidon posted on it there. Let me go look. Let me go look real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember. But if they're not permanent, making them permanent would be kind of cool if they're locked. Someone else mentioned in a post about having permanent groups, because if you're in a group with someone, say that the four of us are in a group and I build the base and I lock it, and then I secure it all up and we all log off. Now we're not in the group together. If you three hop in, you're not going to be able to get in and out of the base easily because everything's locked by me, so it's going to take 4 times as long for you guys to open up the gate and get out. Whereas if I was there, it's like 10 seconds to do it. So that'd be kind of cool if we could potentially have permanent groups, and kind of like how gangs are set up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like potential gang system. I mean, I think it'd be cool. Like if you could actually transfer money into a gang bank. That way, you could show that this group of people has they've done a lot more missions. They have the money for it. I mean, there's nothing you could really use it for, but it's kind of just like a show of this group has a lot of money. One thing that's really annoying is being the only person that can invite people. When it was me and Ham earlier, and there was like 15 of us, it was constantly people getting invited for getting disconnected, stuff like that. If there was the gang system we have with Altus where certain people could invite, that'd be something that you could also look into. I mean, you just won't be able to use the funds for anything other than, I guess, taking them out if you were a certain rank. I think some aspects of Altus Life should be in Wasteland.
If we did do that, I would almost suggest that for permanent bases, you could have it where it's gang access, because I think even if you're in a group, if I lock it, one of you guys, it still takes it a little bit longer to unlock it, even though it's me, but it'll let you unlock it. Whereas if you're not in the group and someone's nearby, you can't unlock the item. If we had it where it's a permanent item in the game that's locked, and if no one's around and the gang has, or the group has funds in their group bank, then it acts as if someone's there, but it charges you over time. So like a maintenance fee to keep your stuff locked. That'd be kind of interesting, because then those funds that you're stockpiling essentially pay for the security of the base that you built and you're using to house all of your stuff.
So like basically a housing fee. So it's like you're paying for that land, so to speak. Yeah, then it has a purpose. Then because like right now it's like with 500K you could do whatever the hell you want. I'm not going to blow through that. So having a reason to actually get rid of money would help.
But not a one-time fee.
Yeah, it would be over
a maintenance fee, like every X amount every day or X amount every 7 days, whatever it is. And the bigger the base or whatever, the more members you have or whatever, some kind of scaling if it's even possible to do that. Now, I don't know. I did talk to Poseidon about what the coding looks like, and he said that comparing the way that Wasteland is coded to how Tonic did the framework for Altus Life, Wasteland has the potential to be harder to code because it's not organized in a logical fashion the way that Altus Life is. So he has to go in, and it's not like if you have this one set of variables over here that you can go over here and do that. You actually have to go in and change all the variables and all of the different the files is the way that he made it, the way he explained it. So getting big things like permanent gangs or maintenance fees or stuff like that might take a while and may or may not be possible, but it'd be awesome to have it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree then. Like I said, purpose with the gang funds then has a reason to use them. Maddie said houses in Wasteland. I mean, that's kind of like the point of the...
It's kind of like, I think
base,
you already
right?
have... Well, you have the base, but you also have spawn beacons, so isn't that kind of the same thing?
Yeah, it drops you from the sky is what it does.
Yeah, it's a little bit more oriented towards entering a battle, but yeah, so if you could spawn in your house, it might be a little bit circumventing the whole spawn beacon thing that's already there.
Wouldn't serve a purpose. What else can we say about Wasteland? Not really. I had something I was going to say and I totally forgot when we were talking about it. I honestly, I don't remember what the hell I was going to say about it. No spawn beacons is just fine. Yeah, I know, right? It must have been something so simple. I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. King of the Hill server then. We'll talk about that. Yay or nay?
I don't know. I don't really like King of the Hill, but then again, I've played servers that were infantry only that I liked. That's just the way I like to play. They tend to be really laggy, and especially, I mean, even now I have a pretty good rig now, so, and it's still just really not it's not smooth, not like Wasteland anyway. So I don't know how I feel about it.
So Wasteland on other servers is extremely laggy for me when it gets to a certain threshold of players. With Poseidon's hardware, I didn't notice it really. I felt like I was just, I was just doing fine. I had like 50 FPS or something like that. Um, I don't know how it would work with King of the Hill if it would have the same effect where it would breathe smooth. But I've never been a fan of King of the Hill because it was always a ton of camping. If you came in and you were, a really low level compared to a couple people that had a really high level, they're usually just going to be camping with lynxes where you're, trying to actually run around and, stay into the zone and kill people. I've just never been a fan of it. It seemed like a grind fest, and that's what Altus life to me already is. I don't really need 2 grind fests in my life.
Yeah, I have to agree. I don't really find myself playing King of the Hill a whole lot. I could definitely see myself playing Wasteland a lot just because it's so super sandboxy.
So Dustin said it's fun, but I don't know if Olympus needs one. We might need another developer. That's the thing that I've always thought about too. Is like the more we branch out, what's the threshold where But I guess King of the Hill. Do you really add stuff to King of the Hill, or is it kind of just like you just have the base game mode and that's really it? Like, is there more to it that you could really do? I have no fucking clue. Like, I played it I think 4 times. Are we on the same boat here? Pete, do you play King of the Hill at all? I think he died on us.
He died after he had that other his. I thought he hacked himself to death or death, whatever.
King of the Hill. I've been on the most popular servers. I forgot what they're called. I got about to level 20 and I stopped playing. I do like the jets on there. I believe if Olympus did get a King of the Hill server, I'd like an infantry only, like Dilly was saying, because the last infantry only that I played on, I got permanently banned from it. So I kind of want to do the so I'd have to go with the yes on that King of the Hill server.
Alright, I know a lot of people were saying it in the thread at least that they wanted one, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. Some of my opinions are always going to be no. Like the people that didn't want a Wasteland server were all saying no, we don't need them. I just don't know what you could really add to King of the Hill to make it different than any other server. Now, if the purpose is just to branch out and to have other things people can play on that's branded with Olympus, I don't see the problem. If make a poll, see who wants to play, who will support it and actually play on it. If we get a lot of support on it, I say try it out, go for it. If it doesn't work out, you just get rid of it, I guess. I just feel like Wasteland has a little bit more potential in terms of actually doing things into a growth. Okay.
Right. It's more of a re-rolled environment on Wasteland.
Yeah, so there's always things you can bring over from other game modes that make it better. Like I said, something you have to do. Make a poll, figure it out, see who wants to get it, and go from there. John, do you want to talk about the whole things with medics now, going into red zones for senior, and is it heavy? You can get permission. Is that what it is?
Close. So last weekend we did roll out the ability for certain R&R members to actually go into red zones unescorted. The way it's set up right now is air responders and coordinators are able to go in at will as long as there's an active request, and that's either a revive request or an emergency text. We can go in, land, take care of it, and then leave. For the heavy responders, which is rank 3, those are the guys with the Hummingbirds, the M900s, and the Hemet. They can go into a red zone without an escort. However, they must have permission from an air responder or a coordinator that's on the server. So they can't be on a different server playing, or they can't be in a break room. They actually need to be on the server and say, yes, you can go into that zone. The first 2 ranks, the dispatch and the first responder, still require an escort. The only difference now is they can be escorted by either a patrol officer or an air responder or higher. So we added an extra way for them to be escorted into the red zone.
So did you allow them to start going into red zones because you just wanted them to have more activity, or like what was your reasoning behind actually going forth with it?
There were a couple reasons with the war zone coming out. Initially, there was a fair amount of conflict down there, so there were a lot of deaths down there. R&R is not allowed in the red zone unless we're a hostage, even or assisting APD, which technically is like being a hostage, but it's a voluntary hostage situation. There were a lot more deaths down the war zone. There were more deaths in the red zones and less in the legal areas. And in the past, we've had issues with APD not responding when we say, "Hey, we have someone in this zone that needs a revive. Can you escort us?" And typically the response would be, "Well, who is it?" And my usual direction is name confidentiality. I mean, either you're going to help us because you want to help us, or you're not going to help us because you don't want to help us. It's not going to be a payday kind of a thing, because if it's someone that's worth 50K, most of the time APD will say, "Oh, we can't go over there." But if it's someone that's worth $1 million, then they're, "Oh yeah, we'll be right there." So I was instructing it where don't give a name out, and if they're going to help you, then they help you, and they might get a good payout. If not, then they might lose out, and then that person obviously loses out because they don't get their revive. So taking all that into consideration, I talked to Hades, and he took it all to the staff, and they approved us going in with the rule set that we have now, which is escort or certain rank to go in on your own.
I like the idea. I think a big thing was that people would bait, the medics to outside the red zone, take them hostage, and it would just be a big waste of time. Giving certain ranks the ability to go in now, it's like, okay, they can just revive that person and get back to what they were doing. A problem before that I noticed with some people is that some people have beefs with people on the server. If it's just stuff that they just don't agree with each other. What do you think about when someone requests a revive if it doesn't tell the medic the person's name? Like, is that something that you would be in favor for, or you want medics to know the people's name that they're reviving?
The name does need to be there. Even if somebody has a beef, they should still be responding if they're able to get there in time. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen 100% of the time, but we're supposed to be non-biased, and whatever happens in your civ life or your APD life shouldn't carry over to what you're doing when you're playing as a medic. The other reason is there's also just kind of, it's not a written rule kind of a thing, but every time I'm online or I hear about it, if people request a revive and then disconnect, it actually bugs us out. We end up leaving a marker on the map, the body's glitched, and it just causes havoc for us, and as far as being able to coordinate properly. So the direction is, if somebody requests a revive and then they disconnect, and then they come back, they're basically denied services until the restart comes around, because they're screwing with us, they're screwing with the map, and they're causing us some issues, especially if someone comes in or logs in after the fact. So having the name lets us know, oh hey, this person's been already denied service because of this. Don't bother going over there, and then you can tell that player right off the bat, hey, we're not going to come and get you for the reason, whatever, if you want to say why it was, or just not tell them, whatever.
Okay.
Just not tell him.
Yeah, right.
Well, I've done that before. I had a guy, he was being a harassable jackass, so I told him, you're not getting services denied until the restart, and it was like 15-20 minutes into the cycle, so he was just kind of screwed. And about an hour later, he requested a revive, and I said, dude, you're not getting a revive. I told you that you lost services, because he was being a douchebag and harassing everybody. As far as all the medic, we had like 3 dudes online, so knowing the name helps us, and it also lets us more easily direct where people need to go when there's multiple requests. Because if we just say, oh, it's over here, yeah, but sometimes you'll have like 3 or 4 in the same area. So
I got you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking of in the standpoint of people not wanting to revive others because they don't like them, and I guess there's more upsides to having a name than there would be not having one. Dustin brought in the picture from Moob. I assume you don't want to. Do you want to touch on that? Yes or no?
Yeah. I replied to it about 10 minutes ago. I already spoke to the medic in question, and he did confess to it. So he was reprimanded accordingly, and it is affecting him as far as his now delayed promotion date. It's written in the handbook in 2 different locations, that if you're a hostage, you have to be transported. You can't drive your own vehicle. It also says that you can't drive illegal vehicles, and Actually, though, that covers both because it says you can't. You aren't authorized to drive any vehicle. There's a third rule that I didn't bother looking up because they all know it, or everyone else can find it if they want. Where responders are only authorized to drive R&R vehicles. You can't drive any civilian or APD vehicle for any reason. That's why when we got the ability to enter our vehicles without having to unlock it, I asked specifically to see if we can have it so only entering a medic vehicle or a vehicle that you have keys. So technically he could have entered that off-road without having key or without unlocking it, which is an abuse of the power, which is why we don't have the ability to enter any vehicle because of situations like that. So I already spoke to him about it, and he did accept what I told him as far as his reprimanding and the fact that his promotion's being delayed.
Okay, I got you.
Based on this, I'm hope that some of the other responders watch the podcast and learn not to do that.
So, for future reference, in a situation where medic's taken hostage, and the hostage taker's like, "Yo, drive my illegal vehicle, for I, pop your ass." what would their response be to that person? Because obviously you don't want them just saying like, the rules say I can't do it. Like, what would be the kind of the response you'd want them to do?
Why not? I mean, you could turn around and say, "Drive this vehicle, or I'm going to execute you." And I've had that happen. And I turn around, and I say, "Well, sir, according to the R&R handbook, I'm not authorized to drive a vehicle that's not my own in any circumstance. But because I'm a hostage, you must actually transport me from point A to point B." And I just pointed out, I don't care. I'll quote the rule book. It's a handbook. It's. I'm not quoting it out of character. I'm quoting the handbook that if I'm hired on as a rescue and recovery member, I'm going to be handed a book that says, "Here's how you operate."
Okay.
And the other problem is, say that you're driving the vehicle, and APD comes up behind you, they're going to tilt over the vehicle and see that you're the driver and send you a text message that says, "Pull over." If the medic doesn't pull over, now they are evading arrest and disobeying a police officer, which is breaking the law, which is breaking another rule of the handbook.
Okay, so we'll touch on what Chad is saying right now, and you can defend yourself. Dark Monk says we told him we were going to kill him if he did not drive it. If he valued his life, he would drive it. RP sense, that would obviously be the course of action. The person would drive the car if they're being told to. And then Dustin's saying the same thing. So you'd rather have them not drive it than kind of do like what the correct RP thing to do would be? Is that what you're getting at? Like what is the reason for them not being able to drive them if they're told to in a hostage situation? Like what's the reason for it?
Well, I'm going to pull in a different post it's a different rule, but it's the same kind of a thing. Someone made the suggestion of making it so that bringing back organ harvesting, but where you have to take a medic hostage and have them remove the organ. Well, now in this case, it's the same kind of a thing. Now the medic is causing harm to a player, which isn't supposed to happen. They're doing something illegal, which is removing a kidney. So now they're breaking two rules of the handbook, in or out of RP. I mean, I guess you could defend it if you want. If they wanted to, they could defend. Well, he was going to shoot me. Okay. Well within your rights to say that you have the immunity that you're not allowed to do these things. I mean, that's kind of breaking RP by claiming the immunity since it's not a role playing thing, but
I got you.
It's there, so
yeah, I know. I was just wondering, like, 'cause, the big thing is everyone, RPs when they want to, and other times they just, come up with reasons why, they don't need to. I think it's one of those things where, I don't know how I want to explain this. In an RP sense, obviously the right thing to do would be to drive the vehicle, but when you have when it's not real life and you have to follow certain rules, it's like it makes things difficult for people. What rank was the person that did it? Do you know?
They were a first responder, so rank 2.
Oh, okay. I guess one of the things where I probably would have contacted someone and figured out what they'd want me to do if I was stuck between do I do it for the RP or do I do it because don't do it because the rules say not to. I think it's one of those things. DJ Dark Monk is saying nothing illegal about driving a 50 cal if the gunner was the only one shooting.
It's not necessarily the fact that there's someone shooting out the back of it. You're driving an illegal vehicle. The 50 cal itself is an illegal vehicle. That's correct, right?
50 cal is, yeah, obviously legal vehicle.
Yeah, so that's breaking rule number 1. Rule number 2 that they're breaking is driving a vehicle that is not a R&R vehicle. So no matter what, they are breaking the 2 rules. I mean, and then again, if they get chased, now they're breaking a 3rd rule because they are evading police.
Okay, so let's say Dustin's like, yo, medic, drive this illegal vehicle or I'm going to kill you. Medic says no. Would he need to let the medic go in that sense, or like continue on not have him drive, or would he be allowed to shoot the medic for not following his order with it?
He would not be able to shoot the medic. The medic wouldn't be able to drive. He could drive around with the medic in the truck. He couldn't sit as a gunner, but he could sit as a passenger. We're not there to assist you in the sense of driving you around and being your gunner. We're there to heal you, repair your vehicle, and revive. That's the purpose of being a medic. If you want someone to drive your vehicle, go get a hostage and tell them, look, you're my hostage. If you do what I say, then I'll give you some money, or I won't kill you. If you try to run, I'll kill you. You can do it that way, but...
Okay, I got you. Dilly, you want to chime in on it, because you're a baby medic. What would you do if the situation occurred? Like, all things aside, you didn't know, John didn't say shit just now, okay? You don't know anything about John being said. Heat of the moment, someone says, I'm going to shoot your ass, drive my illegal vehicle. What would your mentality be?
Well, the way that medics are, I would probably say something along the lines of, I'm not, I'm sorry, but I'd rather die before putting the lives of other citizens in danger. I signed up to help people. I signed up to save people, that kind of thing. Something along those lines with a little bit more dramatization. Gotcha.
Pete, are you a medic as well? Are you only APD? Or shit, are you even APD?
Only APD.
Okay, you are APD.
Only
I
APD.
was like, man, what if he's not even APD? I just fucked up. All right, I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad we get things clarified. That's the biggest thing. Is like it helps that you're a staff technically, right? Like you're tier 1. You're still technically a staff member right now, right? Or are you not a staff yet?
What do you mean still?
Are you officially? So you're officially staff. Okay. Basically, though, it's nice when you have someone on that's a staff member as well as being head of something. It helps with getting things clarified, and it stops people from making the mistakes that person might have made. At least you weren't too harsh on him, right? Like you could have been like, all right, blacklisted, you fucked up. So
exactly. I mean, he copped out to it, or he copped up right away as soon as I said, "What's this?" And he's like, "Well, I was driving it, blah blah blah." And I told him, he's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, so I'm gonna have to push out your promotion. He's like, "Yeah, I understand." So he understood, and he wasn't. I mean, I'm sure he's upset, but he didn't. There was not an angry response to the fact that he basically broke the handbook. It could have been worse. I could have removed him, but I'm not going to do that because he's a great player. He's great to play with, role play with. So I mean, he doesn't deserve to be demoted or kicked out. He just messed up. Everyone messes up.
I was thinking, I was like, how did he know who it was? And then I looked at the picture. It says he gave him keys. It's like, you fucked up.
And also, I'm going to kind of answer something that Dustin's saying about seeing medics trying to revive when no one's looking. Just because we are told not to revive someone doesn't mean we have to listen. We can, once you tell us, hey, don't revive that person, and you specify by name, don't revive that person. You basically have... the immunity goes away if we decide to attempt to revive. So if you say don't revive, so say I'm playing Warfare, you killed Dilly, and I'm going to revive him, and you say you don't revive McDilly, and I say okay, and then I turn around and start to run away. You run 100 meters that way, and I run back to try to revive him. You're well within your rights to shoot me because now I am going against your instruction to not revive that dead player. So It's not that we're not allowed to. It's giving us the option to either leave and still have our immunity or stay and lose our immunity. But I'm going to emphasize, and this happens a lot, and I'm even a culprit of this. I was playing as a Civ one time, and I fell victim to this. You need to specify the name, and you can't send a personal message. I get a lot of personal messages. Most notably, like 2 weeks ago, from a large gang sent me personal text messages, it needs to be an emergency text message, and it needs to specify the name of who not to revive. If you don't know who you killed, then you should know who you're shooting. I mean, it pops up in the bottom left.
Yeah, for a second I was about to say, why can't we text you? And then you said emergency text. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot you can do that. Because that was the biggest thing with McDilly was when he was playing as a medic and we were doing a jailbreak. Man, I was so frustrated at that.
I remember that.
I was texting him. I was like, you stop reviving him right now. Because like, they kept reviving the cops during the jailbreak. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work. They're just going to keep reviving them every time we kill them. And it was a hassle. That's before those rules got put in place, though, about emergency texting and telling them to stop and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so everyone finally noticed McDilly's got the bed sheets. He's rocking them now. No more bed sheet jokes for the time being.
Mouth.
I don't even know what other topics do we have going on. We had the Make Arma Not War contest. We can touch on that for a little bit, and then if anybody has any other suggestions in chat, let us know. If not, then it might be an early show because we're kind of limited on topics this week. Not much has been happening other than the Wasteland server, and that was really it. There wasn't really anything major going on. I gave you guys the link to the Make Arma Not War winners. If you guys have that up, I'm going to post it in chat for all you guys if you want to look.
I already did it because I'm faster than you.
As I went to do it. So basically, Make Arma Not War contest, my understanding is it's all about game modes, who has the best game mode in certain fields. The main one we'll probably discuss real quick would be the multiplayer one because it has most of the game modes that we all know. You looked up the other two, right, Odin?
Yeah, I did. So,
first place being King of the Hill. I don't agree with that at all. I hate King of the Hill still, so that's not my favorite. I'm wondering why they limited Battle Royale to Ghost Hotel. Like, I don't know why that was done. I feel like it should have been a full-on thing, because the Ghost Hotel isn't the same as really full-out Battle Royale, right? Does anybody know?
I've never even played Ghost Hotel. I've played Battle Royale, never Ghost Hotel.
Yeah, so Ghost Hotel, I know from what I heard, at least, if I could be wrong, it's like SMGs only. SMGs only at the old meth place, right? The old meth processor. And Pete Malloy timed out.
Yeah, he said invite him back when he shows up online.
Gotcha. I think that one should have definitely won. I'd rather have Battle Royale win. I think it's a more diverse game mode. It's a lot better than King of the Hill. King of the Hill is literally just like, all right, sit in this one area, camp, and everyone in this huge ass radius gets points. Like I don't see the purpose of it. It's not like you're capturing like little flags or anything. You're literally sitting in a full on town. So I don't know what the creative genius was behind that, but it wasn't that good in my opinion. What was the Twilight one? Was like a survival one, right? Kind of like
I've never.
No, the Twilight one. Well, based on their description, essentially it's you're thrown into the heart of a big, huge conflict, and every decision that you make actually affects the gameplay and changes how things are going to unravel. So it's not, go kill this guy and this is going to happen, but if you don't kill him, then that's still going to happen. So if you kill this guy one time and don't kill him next, everything's going to be different. And essentially, you are able to choose your own tactics and actually affect the battlefield. It's not like step here, spawn those, step over there, spawn that kind of a thing.
That doesn't sound as fun as that other one you linked me. That was the wrecking one, right? The one that tied third. So, yeah, if you have those pictures, link them in chat. But basically, what it looked like to us was you would find stuff, you would put it on your vehicle, and you would fuck shit up with it. So, guy had like an SUV with like some concrete blocks in the front of it with like 350s coming out the roof. I don't know how you would shoot from those. How would you even get in? Do you think that maybe the driver can shoot from him?
Yeah, the way that it works, I believe I've seen videos of this game mode. Actually, I've been meaning to play it. Yeah, you have the ability to use them as a driver. Like it's basically like they just throw a bunch of cars in like an arena. It's not really an arena. It's like a really big open area, and you basically build your car before you take it out, and then based on how you perform or whatever, you make like money or something, so you can get more stuff on it, and you can just basically just throw whatever you want on your car, and then it's just hilarious. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that out. It looked funny as shit. Yeah, Maddie, we're talking about that Get Wrecked server thing. That looked fun. Like I do want to try it out.
I would like to point out that the picture with the go-kart, does have a PCML pointing at the front end. It's got a forward-facing PCML.
Trying to see which
That's
one's that one.
pretty epic.
Is that the first one? Second one?
I think it's the second one. It's sticking out right past the steering wheel.
Oh my god, it does. That's a beefed up go-kart too. It's got like some kind of, it's got like fuel cans in the back. What is that, like a generator behind them?
Yep. And you can see there's a red dot on whatever vehicle's in front of it. What is that? Is that a Hemet? That's a Hemet with 2 mortars, a sandbag, and some walls on. Yeah, dude, it's got 2 mortars, but then it's got a red or a laser sight on it. I'm assuming that's got to be from that PCML, so you can aim it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's nasty looking. Like,
Could you imagine rolling up on a Hemet and it's got concrete walls strapped to the side and the mortars on top? That'd be epic.
I wonder, like,
I gotta play this game now.
that kind of thing. Like, what if you could bring that to Wasteland? Like, what if you could, what if you could do shit to your vehicles like that, man? Like, that'd be dope.
That would be pretty epic.
Maybe not to the extent of putting 350 cals on it, but you know, like the
What?
you know, I mean, maybe adding one, but the cooler concept to me was like beefing up your vehicles with protection, like having the armor, you know, the slabs on the sides to, you know, kind of reduce, you know, the damage you take.
I can see it now. People will build these crazy vehicles and then tow other crazy vehicles with lots of guns on them in Wasteland
It's a
and
mobile
in the
base.
sky. Yeah, mobile base.
So Matt, you want to know why there aren't more events? So the reason why there's not more events, one being the fact that it takes an admin to do it, because mods, I believe, actually, does Grandma Gary have access to the event menu?
You should.
Okay.
He was running an event the other night.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I did it back then. Certain tier mod plus admins are the ones that can do them. When you can do them is very limited due to the fact that you want as many people on the server as possible so you can have a greater outcome. And just the fact that people have personal lives, you know. Things come into play, and you know, we'll doing the events is a big thing that I want to do. You know, get them out as much as possible. Events are a huge thing when it comes to stuff like Altus Life because you get people to actually start playing together and stuff like that. And it's just like side missions basically people can do, and they're a cool concept. So, and then Jendrak is also gone too. You know, he was the guy that was going to be doing a lot of events, and that's, you know, him being gone. I don't know when he's returning or anything like that, but when he comes back, if he does, I'm sure there'll be more events because of that too. So. And then, yeah, the chat is delayed, by the way, on you guys on the stream. It'll obviously be delayed compared to what you're seeing on your screen because you're getting a delay for the stream. So that's why it is delayed on there. I'm literally completely out of topics. Do you guys have any things you wanna talk about, or anything?
Gang Wars.
Gang Wars, okay. Give us a rundown, Pete. What's Gang Wars?
We're having constant battles with Bourbon over cartels on server 2.
How's it working out? A lot of money spent, or what's the deal?
Yeah, you know, everyone's spending money, but you know, it's pretty nice. They come on maybe once a week onto server 2 and attack us on there.
Is that fun? Is that like what you guys want to happen?
Well, obviously we would like to be on the offensive, but currently right now we are not. We're defending their attacks.
I will say
Right.
I
It's
have
pretty
participated in. I've participated in 2 of the fights so far, and regardless of how it ever plays out and all that, it is a lot of fun when they come on and fight. I really like seeing that from another gang coming on and being active and wanting to cause trouble with, you know, the other gangs. It really it keeps it fun for everybody. I had a blast, honestly, in both of them, both the ones I participated in. It was honestly a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I
think it's good. I think it's a good thing.
I haven't done anything with cartels or anything like that, but just the idea of like a gang versus gang thing sounds cool to me. A little while ago, Ace and a bunch of cops with us, we went and we fought Bourbon and MC and Crook at the Ghost Hotel. That was a lot of fun. So basically, it was like 15 cops, and I don't even know how many of them they had, and we chilled at the Ghost Hotel inside. Our job was to defend it until server restart. It we had fun. It was like anything goes, right? So like if they wanted to bring like 50s, they could do it. They wouldn't get seized or anything like that. And cops would use lethals if you were a corporal or higher, and that sort of thing was fun. So I can imagine it being similar to a gang war. I mean, at least playing out roughly the same.
Right. They're not organized or anything. They're just random. They come on they come onto server 2 and start attacking us. I would like to set up some kind of organized gang war with a set amount of people and a set amount of times you can return to the cartels. But we haven't really set anything up like that. I tried reaching out to some people in Bourbon, but it doesn't seem they want to do anything like that. If Crook or any other gang wants to do that, I'd be up for it.
So we talked about it before in an event suggestion thread where people wanted to do something like that. Take either two gangs or 3 gangs or 4 gangs or whatever. Have them start in assault flats at different areas, and then either everything goes or a specific weapon. I think something like that would be cool, or just fighting, like having all the cartels be neutral, and then whoever can hold X amount of cartels by a certain amount of time, I guess, would win. That would be something that I'd like, I think.
That would probably be better to keep people actually, moving out and doing stuff instead of salt flats where there's no cover and you just, as soon as you see someone, you just shoot them.
Yeah, what I imagine is if there's a ton of fog and everyone's like on the opposite side of the salt flats, you just see them come running out in these huge groups. Just whoever can blaze everyone down first wins.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'd be very good at that kind of warfare in the salt flats.
Yeah.
The concept is intriguing to me. I think I'm a big guy when it comes to events. I love the idea of doing them. They're fun to watch. They're fun to participate in. I had so much fun when we did that VIP event with like MC, and then when POTP was around, that was a ton of fun. Just trying to like get Gendrack to a certain area and then holding it. I don't think you were there, McDilly, but maybe you were.
No, but I saw the video and it was awesome.
It was a ton of fun. It took a long time, but it was like a constant action, and it was so cool. So
I missed out.
You did. One other thing I'm going to touch on real quick will be Wasteland, because I just remembered I was going to talk about. Poseidon asked if you were able to buy objects for building bases. And the answer is, are you saying yes? Or are you just nodding? Yes, you can? Okay, but on the server currently you can, right? That's not a thing? There's nowhere to buy objects right now for base building?
That I'm not sure. It should be at the general store.
Oh, maybe it is. Okay, well, if it's not there, yes or no on the idea of being able to buy base parts? Okay, then. Okay, well, that's what I wanted to know. I didn't know if you guys were all for that and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I am. I don't know about everybody else.
Oh, McDilly?
I like it. Why not?
Okay, Pete, if you ever hop into Wasteland, yes or no?
No.
Looks like Mitch Styles is saying yes, you can from the general store.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, he's a little mad right now. I VDM'd the crap out of him when they were doing like a money shipment, I think it was. They were using Ghost Talk, and I came in my Orca, and I realized that they were there, and I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna stop them." I just rammed the shit out of them. I just smacked them as hard as I could with the Orca, and everything went boom. So
I remember we were all in silence there for a second, and then it was just like, we just all like, I don't know, not all of us, but I think it was just me. I just busted out laughing. I thought it was the funniest shit.
Are there any jets on that Wasteland server?
Yes, you can find them on server restarts or buy them.
Okay,
can you get the fighter jets, or is it just the Wipeout and the Typhoon, or the
fighter jets are like the smaller ones that are kind of like camoed, right?
Yeah,
you can. Yep,
you
can find all of them.
Yeah. I've seen those before.
Is it allowed to, ram them into
Yes.
grounding?
Yes, it is.
There's literally
There
no
are no
rules
rules.
except for like no hacking, no duping, that kind of thing. You want to VDM someone, go for it. You want to sling load a car and throw it at somebody, go
Like
for it.
fuel trucks, right?
Yeah, you
Sling
can.
load fuel trucks and drop
Atom
them on.
bombs.
Yep, you can.
But if you have skill, you don't need to ram.
I mean,
Shots fired.
Well, I mean, when you run out of ammo, you gotta
You
do
can get
something.
ammo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how much money do you have right now, John?
I'm not telling you how much money.
Oh,
I got.
okay, because I got more than you, right? So who's got the more skill right
I'm
now?
not telling you how much money I got. You don't know what I did today.
You got $147,000. I'm calling that right now. That's the most time I believe you have. Yep, I'm taking it. All right. Any final things you want to talk about, or are we gonna call it now? I don't literally have nothing else that I could bring to the table right now.
A media arm for MC has been established. We're currently in the production of an enemy, a interview with the enemy number 2. It's gonna be maybe a 30 to 40 minute long video. It's gonna be a long one.
I never watched the first one. What is it about?
Well, the first one, it's an interview with the enemy.
Is that the one where you guys took that guy up to the second story and talked to him and shot him in the face?
Yeah.
Isn't that your picture on Skype right now?
No, that is from number 2. That's
from the number 2.
I hope you're not offended. But anyway, of us, we actually took a medic up to a desolate hill and interviewed him. It didn't work out too well for him.
He didn't survive.
He did not survive.
Jorvis wants to know, is it going to be 45 minutes of Allah Akbar music?
It'll be more, talking, but there, of course, with any release from MC, you're gonna have that.
Well, alrighty then.
Did you follow proper hostage protocols with that medic?
No, we did not. We tied him up. We shot him. No, we did. We asked him to do it.
No, I'm joking. It was too long ago.
Right, he agreed to everything.
Yeah, it's fine. I've done that before.
Straight murder a medic.
For propaganda reasons, we're not going to be revealing that. You can understand that, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We can't seem weak.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yo, Virus, you talking out your ass right now? I don't know what you're even trying to say. Sandstorming? Sandstorm the BLTN? Oh, okay, no, I know what it... No, okay. Yeah, I know...
Oh, please no.
It's not gonna happen. I have my...
What's that?
Nothing. Nothing's gonna
What's
happen.
that?
Sandstorming?
No. Never.
You guys hear that?
No,
it's not gonna happen. That
I
was...
was like, alright,
Go on.
alright,
I had fun doing that.
That, I heard of the stories. I think I popped into one of the rooms one time when it was happening. I get no dudes in the chat. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Great conversations as usual. We had a slow week, so it's a little bit hard, we're like topic retarded because of that, We always want to do the podcast still, and if we do have, no topics to talk about, if you guys have suggestions, drop them in our suggestion thread. I'll give you guys a link to that once we're done here. And I appreciate everyone watching, coming out. It means a lot to us. We're doing pretty good, I'd say, and I'm really enjoying what the podcast brings to the table. So, obviously, Odin, appreciate you coming on. Pete Malloy, appreciate you coming on, buddy. I'm glad you didn't die on us in the middle of it. That would have been a really sticky situation if you did. Could have choked to death or something. But, all right. We'll leave it at that. Bed sheets.
Right.
Bed
I got
sheets.
I got McDilly. I'm watching McDilly right now, so I don't think I could die. No, got my eyes on him. But if I do ever, keep your eyes on McDilly.
All right. We're gonna wait 30 seconds for Mitch Styles' one question. All right. And if it's a retarded question, I'm just gonna turn the show off. I'm just gonna turn it off with no warning. Except that would technically be a warning. We wait in silence. As McDilly texts on his phone.
Shut up.
Never mind, he answered. Okay, then, wow. Okay, what a waste of time. Like I said, appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys coming on. We'll be back next week, Friday, at actually 6 p.m. No, 6? 6? Are we going 6 for me? Whatever the hell that is for you?
Yes.
9 for you?
8 for me.
8 for you? What the hell are you? Are you Central?
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, fucking 9 p.m. Eastern, I guess would be what it would be, right?
What is this? What?
We're changing the time because McDilly's a pussy and he gets tired early.
I have to wake up I was up at 3 in the morning this morning for work. All right.
You see these excuses?
And then I had to work.
Crash the cast at 6 o'clock.
I know, right? You see this? Starting problems now, McDilly. Good job.
I think it should stay where it's at.
Really? You think so?
I think it should stay the exact because I'm staff and I say so.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
John Wayne, I'm staff now.
Just ban McDilly. Problem solved. There you go. Like, you can't have an opinion
I'll
if
make
he's.
the rules now.
Yeah, make some medic
I'm
rules.
John Wayne.
Well, alrighty then. Okay, appreciate you guys watching.
I
Appreciate
don't
you guys
even
coming
know
on.
what to say.
We're ending it. We're calling it here before this goes a totally weird way. See you
I think we already
guys
went there. He
next
got a
week.
visor with his headset.
Right, exactly. You have a weird ass headset too. All right, peace out, guys.